Good to go. How many people we have sitting in here already? We got a whole nine people sitting in. Sorry, let them roll in.
Oh wait, let me make sure my thing is muted because that's.
We'll tuck you away for a sec. Hold on.
All right, cool.
All right, good to go. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chaos. My name is Brad. That is Fat Man Zoom. The stock market is crazy and chaotic. We made it our mission to help you guys own it. And Fat Man Zoom, it was another crazy day. I was red again, like deep in the red today.
Yeah.
And now I'm back to being green. It's pretty wild. And we got a lot of stuff to cover today. We obviously have Freddie. It's Thursday, Freddie Thursdays.
Yep.
So tons of fun to look forward to there. But why don't we go ahead and hit him up with the starting five?
Starting five, we have Savvy Money Show, Nina A, Parag Juneja, Ayushi Juneja, Rudy Brown. Those are our starting five. That's five. Wait, yep, that's five. Welcome to starting five, guys. Maybe family in it together. Ayushi, Parag, I gotta imagine you guys know each other.
There's no way they're not related.
But welcome, guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for us right off the bat. Certainly, we have a few headlines to discuss, a wide variety of conversation today. But honestly, we should just jump right in.
I say we do it.
Welcome, the one, the only, Freddie Valois.
Hey.
Yo, what's up? Hey, listen. I went to my YouTube and the episode from last week was up, but I looked at the comments first. And we mentioned Shang-Chi then.
Yeah.
And the conversation prior to this that I said I didn't want to talk about earlier because it was too sexual in the nature. I thought they were commenting about that. And so I was like, oh shit. I was like, well, I tried to not talk about it. But then that was last week's episode. So we're good. This is good. What's going on, everybody? I was telling them I don't want to come on here and talk about sex all the time. You know, I want to be a well-balanced individual. You know, I want to have range like Adolf Hitler, you know, that guy. Obama was Hitler, apparently. Donald Trump was Hitler, apparently. That's a lot of ground to cover there. Something's not right there with those comparisons. I feel like we just use that name a little too willy-nilly, right? Heil, get it? We're in here, baby. Speaking of war criminals, the Democrats are cool with George Bush again. What the fuck's going on, guys? What the fuck? At least I know I could be a war criminal and I'll get away with it as long as I got a cute little old man face. Because that little cute old man George Bush face is fucking undeniable. I don't give a fuck who you are. And I think that's how it's making us forget that he was a war criminal and he used God to attack another country. And we don't even know why, really. But, you know, you learn it's retrospective, right? It's the military industrial complex is, you know, keyword complex, right? It's a tough thing. That's cool though, because after him was Obama, right? And that was a fucking dupe for everybody, wasn't it? He dropped more bombs than George Bush, baby, and I think that's because black people are more athletic. You know what I'm saying? It's just that hand-eye coordination. When people tell me I miss Obama, I gotta miss him too. He's so cool. He had the coolest drone strikes. Like the way those drones stroked. You know what I'm saying? He was stroking motherfuckers. I feel like his drones flew to like the tune of the Temptations, like real cool, real smooth, like, you know what I'm saying? Just creeping, baby. We out here. Then Trump came. Just to talk. That's boring for me. I don't want to talk. Everybody has said everything, right? And I feel like that's why people love Bush too. It's like the ex that fucking you left a real bad relationship where you were getting beat and kept in a cage, and then you met somebody else. No. It's the other way around. This is the first time I'm saying this, so work with me here. You had a guy that yelled at you, and then you got into another relationship somehow, and that guy ended up beating you, and you're like, nah, this other guy was cool. He actually wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? It's just, look at that cute little old man face, you know? What's up, guys? How's the Chaos crew doing? I saw somebody on the comments from Lakeland, Florida. Shout out to Lakeland. One of my wrestling buddies, his name is Joe Lowe. He was a 3-time state champ at Lakeland High School. I don't know if you know him or not. Don't know how old you are, but yeah, Lakeland. He's a badass dude. So I have Lakeland in high regard as an area of the country. Of course, from Florida. So y'all motherfuckers are crazy. What's up, Chaos crew?
There's always a man from Florida doing something.
Yes, and we need that. We need to stay on our toes.
We
I
do.
respect Florida for who they are in the ecosystem.
I agree. Man, the monologues just keep getting better.
Oh wait, one thing about war criminals. One last thing. I got one thing. Argentina bans Dragon Ball Z because it's too violent, right? And I'm saying just tell Dragon Ball Z that the main characters that fight the Z fighters, just tell them that those are war criminals because they're cool with those guys. They'll harbor them, whatever, you know, they'll protect them. Sorry, that was the last thing about that was all I got it all off my chest. Thank you. I needed that.
You're good.
I've been going down some dark holes, man. I just, I'm going through some things. Hi guys.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to go from there. Habtilim Kanea, is this stock talk? Clearly, that was not stock talk.
No.
That's our friend Freddie Valoy, who comes here every Thursday. Because you know what? We do a lot of stock talk, and sometimes we want to light it up a little bit. We will be getting into stocks. We'll be getting into conversations. However, sometimes we just got to laugh.
Yes.
Sometimes we just got to let loose. You know what I mean?
You gotta talk about the world sometimes in a goofy way.
What's up, Rob T? Shout out to the watch list. Yes, the watch list has done well. Daniel Camarena live from the FedEx warehouse. What is going on? So we have some things going on in the market. It's been a cool, I wouldn't say there's anything that's really been like mind blowing, but there's been like cool things that we can talk about going on in the market, certain conversations, and we'll start backwards. So I didn't really see the SpaceX launch, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the SpaceX launch. I read articles about it, saw some pictures about it. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I did not, unfortunately. I saw some pictures. I know Bratz from our Chaos crew posted a picture from where he lives and saw the rocket going off. So that's really cool. I just think that like Elon Musk is straight up just one-upping everybody. It was like Jeff Bezos is like, oh, okay, I'm going to shoot a penis rocket up into space and I'm going to go up there and hang out for 10 minutes and it's going to be the coolest thing ever. And then Elon's like, okay, watch this. Everybody's going to hang out in space for 3 days. Fight me.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It just shows, we've talked about this before. Man, it doesn't matter the hiccups that Tesla has. Anything that Elon does, I can get behind.
Yeah.
Like he's just on a different level. He just thinks differently. Dude, it's just wild how he thinks.
If he was a real man, though, he would have shaped the rocket like a vagina and just had it up there like, fuck you, Bezos.
Bring it.
Like what was that? Austin Powers, the boobs spaceship.
Yeah.
Should have done something like that.
Yeah.
That would have been great. And I wouldn't put it past Elon to do that.
I wouldn't either.
Maybe there's something there for the next one. Housekeeping says, Freddie is the pumpkin spice in my coffee. I don't want it every day of the week, but white girls be starting fist fights to get a sip of it.
I have had white women fight over me, and it's a magical experience as a black man. It's just like the chaos. It's a magical type of chaos, like Disney on Ice. It's like Disney.
That is a very good illustration.
Ivan Broski said Freddie's been down the random YouTube video rabbit hole last night. That rabbit hole is real.
Yes.
The YouTube rabbit hole and the TikTok. I mean, TikTok shows me the same thing over and over, just different people doing it. And I just can't stop.
I can't either.
I actually don't do YouTube rabbit holes for that stuff. I just have eyes and I look at society. You can just from that, and I just remember, and I just remember 9/11. They tell us don't forget 9/11, yet they go back in movies and take the fucking buildings out, and also in murals and stuff like that. Very weird.
That's it. That's a good observation. Have you, or do you not? You do get down the YouTube rabbit hole though, right? Maybe not this situation.
I do fail videos and stuff, dude. I don't even like documentaries on murder. Like I was walking downstairs one time and my girl's watching one of those because that's what white women do. And they were like, the young boy was dismembered. I don't want to hear dismembered in any of the things I'm watching. That's a tough word.
That is 100% woman thing.
Yeah.
All the women love watching the ID channel and that crazy shit. Like that show Snapped.
But the what?
That show Snapped.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's literally just a show about women snapping on their significant others or
what
whatever.
Does snapping mean?
Like, like your brain cracks and you just go crazy.
Okay,
Kill,
I got you.
Kill people.
Yeah, murder the husband, drown the kids type stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I have been down the YouTube rabbit hole, and it's actually kind of a cool social experiment, because I may start with how to change my Apple TV battery, and I'll end with Bruce Lee fight scenes.
Yes.
And
Nice.
it's fun to kind of like see how that works. However, I will say the most recent YouTube value to me is like the DIY and how to do stuff.
Yeah.
Literally 2 days ago, I folded a fitted sheet. Thank you, YouTube. And I felt proud. Not only did I fold a fitted sheet, Freddie, but I folded the fitted sheet, I folded the top sheet, the pillowcases, and then they taught me how to create a little package so it could like fold in itself. And it was this nice little neat rectangular package that you can hand over. It was the win of the week for me.
That's so funny you mentioned that. I learned how to Ranger roll this week.
I don't know what that is either.
It's literally you take a shirt or any of your clothing and roll it tight so that like you can put it in a small space. Like if you're an Army Ranger, like you're trying to pack all your clothes and stuff. And like I could get my whole button down shirt and it's just a tiny little, like as big as this microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christian, or excuse me, Fat Man Zoom. I've done every fucking week I do this. Wait, now that it sounds like you've perfected the fitted sheet. Wait till your girlfriend starts unraveling it because she thinks it's a regular sheet. It's a different kind of like when a woman unravels it and she can't decipher. You're a modern day ninja.
Yeah.
So that'll be the level when she can't decipher which one's which. I have now perfected it.
No, say that again. Sorry, I got lost in a comment. Say that again.
That'll be the black belt. So once she can't decipher a fitted from a top sheet, that is when I know I've arrived. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited, and I've watched videos before. I've tried the fitted sheet. This was the first time I was successful. I just can't listen between. I don't know if you know this, Freddie, but between that and bro, I've gotten the green thumb. I don't know. You looked at my IG, but like I am addicted to plants. I am a legit plant daddy. I don't know what's happening to me right now.
That's good. I like that move. I appreciate the plant movement. That's a trend I really, really like. It makes the Instagram photos look nicer and all that. It's great. Is it real plant? Like you're like
all real, addicting, bro. Addicting. I'm addicted.
You're keeping them alive.
Yeah, I'm keeping them alive. We didn't do a great job in the studio, but I brought them home. I brought it home. I'm learning. I'm getting better. I must have 12 plants, maybe 14.
Dude.
All live plants.
Dude, most women I talk to kill their plants. They can't keep them alive. So I think as a movement, all men should start buying plants and we should take care of them better just to prove a point.
It's a sign of commitment.
Yeah, we still have some kind of value. We're you know.
All right, let's get on to some stocks. How about that?
Yeah, well, hold on. I do want to know the answer to this question, Freddie. It is, do you think Dave Chappelle is the GOAT?
Yes, because he's lived long enough to get to this point where no one is at, where he doesn't even need to tell jokes. You just want to hear him talk. And we still call him a comedian as he is. He's earned that right through, his sketch show, giving up $50 million. That's a very comedian move. Like, fuck that. I'm not gonna sully the art for your fucking money, Comedy Central. Go fuck yourself. Like, that's everything he's done. He left for 10 years and then came back. I think so. He's in a class of his own.
Man, it's tough. I would say, not that anybody asked me, but that's a good debate.
I don't think he's the funniest. For me personally, I like Norm Macdonald just passed away. Shout out to Norm Macdonald. To me, I think he's inherently funnier, but they're different, but I laugh more with Norm Macdonald, but I
Is Eddie Murphy the most quotable?
Cat Williams or Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah, Kevin. Yeah, I like it.
You think that people Cat Williams? I mean, Cat Williams, I think is funny, but like in day to day, you feel like you hear more of like Cat Williams and Kevin Hart than Eddie Murphy.
Stand up, yeah.
Goo.
Yeah, no, yeah. Stand up, 100%. Think about it. Cat Williams is this shit right here. Like when he's talking about he just wants to buy weed and his weed dealer has all the crazy names.
Yeah.
Then he talks about the Chrysler 300. He's like, motherfuckers are buying a Chrysler 300 pretending it's a Phantom until a Phantom roll up on the same street. He's like, I don't even want to be on this block anymore. Like,
I never heard of that one.
dude, you got go watch some old Cat stuff. I'm not Cat
that.
Williams.
I've watched that. I'll take maybe Kevin Hart. She ain't got no nipples. I'll take some Kevin Hart.
George Carlin was mentioned in the chat, and he absolutely
Robin Williams hasn't been mentioned, but like
quote Robin Williams joke, well known that people refer to.
What was it? So the golf bit is my favorite one. My favorite one. It's not really a quote, but just the golf bit in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that we need to have a separate discussion about this in a debate.
Okay.
Because that's a good conversation. I don't think we realize how many Eddie Murphy ones I could give you, because I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But moving on. So as far as the stock market goes, we got a few headlines, and I know a lot of you guys see the headline of Lucid. We're going to save Lucid for the end. That's going to be the main discussion. However, we're going to start with Snapchat, social media stock, daily watch list, regular. There's a couple things that happen as far as that. We talked about a couple weeks ago, Freddie, the Metaverse, that Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg's all about attacking the Metaverse and being a huge proponent and first mover in the Metaverse. Snapchat is right there with them. Snapchat, a huge focus on augmented reality. They're doing a couple of things that are really interesting that lend itself to the Metaverse. And as a company, Brad, I'm gonna talk to you about this, but as a company, they're also doing things for expansion. But just talking about this Metaverse to kind of continue this conversation, Freddie, which social media companies, and this could be outside of Facebook and Snapchat, which social media companies are still standing in 10 years when the Metaverse is in full swing?
Facebook, right? Because they're starting it, so they're in. I guess Snapchat would be one of those, since if you're kind of living in their universe. How can TikTok be in there if it's a Metaverse? They'll figure it out. I can't count TikTok out, but I can't see how they'll be applicable. Yeah, definitely Facebook, which is great. Facebook's a long time. Facebook's a journeyman right now.
Yeah, Facebook is, and it'll be interesting. I don't know if they're creating it. It's just this idea that's out there, and they're championing it. But Snapchat low key is as well. Are you getting excited about this Metaverse? I don't know if you had. I don't recall if you said that you had heard about this before we brought it up on the channel, but the more we talk about it, how are you feeling about this Metaverse? Because I mentioned to you off air, guys, it's not just like a fake world. It's not just like a Sim City type deal. It's literally a world where it's just more accessibility. So we talked about concerts, we talked about sporting events, even just hanging out with your friends, but even use cases for business where I was actually watching a talking head on CNBC who had mentioned, listen, if you're a realtor and instead of just using Google Maps, if you have a client, you can show them through the home virtually through the Metaverse. You can show them through the neighborhood, drive them through the neighborhood. So Freddie, like, you excited about this Metaverse?
Yeah, 100%. I love to escape reality, and this seems like a very fitting thing. This is 100%. This is what we're already in one, and we don't know it. We're just sick of this version of the game, so we're creating some new shit over the next couple decades. Like, I'm so on board, and I'm also excited for the people this is going to piss off, because they're going to be so scared. They're like, oh, everybody's this and that, but it's like,
that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, Roblox. I mean, I think I talked about this.
I was just about to say, Roblox, I think, is probably going to be, I think, in my opinion, it's Facebook 1, Roblox 2.
Yeah.
I like that.
So we'll see from a stock perspective. Brad, Snapchat had just announced that they made 3 new additions to the team, and based on the additions, it looks like they're going after international growth, which is a huge opportunity for them beyond just the US. And also separately, they are going after sports, and so seeing how that works together, how that plays out, and what they're really going for, but creating these specific C-level director roles, what that means for them and for their partnership team Do you think that this supports them keeping this pace of growth? And what does this mean for the stock? Because let's not forget, it's still not profitable.
Yeah, so they've come in profitable, but barely.
Yeah.
And so I think that this is a good move on their part. The people that they put in place, Julie Bogart was came from Facebook. She was their strategic partnerships manager for Facebook and Instagram, and I think that's going to be a huge win or huge ad for them in particular. And just putting the right people in place for Snap, I think that they're doing the right things. In my opinion, I think they're doing fine.
Yeah. And they may not come in profitable this year, but it is not a profitable company. The hope is that they can get there. And I think we both agree that if they can clear profitability and show it annually, that potential that will be a huge catalyst for them. I think the challenge here is you're balancing trying to spend money, trying to keep pace, trying to compete, but also trying to satisfy shareholders. Do you think that should be worrisome? Because Facebook has cash on hand.
Yes, I think there should be some concern for that, but the fact of the matter is that we're seeing Snap take up so much market share in the younger generation, and that's what Facebook's real challenge is. We looked at how many people between the ages of 18 and 24 actually have Snapchat or have the Snapchat app and are active in it, and it was like 80-90% of the U.S. population. So that's so that reach will be able to be monetized at some point, and they'll be able to get over that hump. But Facebook has the money, and I think money certainly is going to be something that will play a factor. It's just, can Facebook do it in a way that they can reach that younger crowd? Because right now, I think that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah. Housekeeping said we're screwed as a society once Metaverse comes out. Just embrace the decline of humanity. Is that legitimate, Freddie? Because the thing I'm thinking is I feel like every generation talks about the decline of humanity. Is that something there, or is it just us being old folks?
No, I think we're already there, like definitely on a decline. We're on a collapse. We're trying to figure things out. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the end. It will be the end someday, but it could, I don't know. I think we're already in a decline, and then we'll probably hit another decline when that comes out again, when that comes out full force. I don't know, but what are the good that's going to come out of that? What are laws going to be if can you kill someone's character? Like, is that a part of the thing? You know what I'm saying? Because then somebody could make money being a virtual hitman where you don't really kill anybody. You just take someone out because some other guy's trying to grow. Kind of like in that, you got some rich guy that doesn't want the thing. He keeps himself removed and hires a hitman.
It's like real life Matrix. You just plug yourself in.
Yeah.
And program your brain to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That movie's coming out again too. You guys see that?
Yeah, I can't wait.
There's definitely some downside to technology, but I gotta say there's far more upside. And you think about when Twitter first came out, the first time I heard about it was we had an American abroad who was like locked up and nobody knew where he was, and he like tweeted out, and it caught fire, and like basically just the Twitter saved him.
Yeah.
I feel like those stories kind of get lost a little bit because there's another piece to that story. I love technology. Listen, anything we have, there's going to be some negative, some downside, people taking advantage of it. The reality is, technology got us through the pandemic, and arguably we're better for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be that control and see how that works. But Chris Edwards actually brings up a good point. I wasn't sure if I was going to bring this up, but since there's a question here, I lost it.
I got it. Sorry.
Will this be a huge game changer for NFTs, Brad? Here's how the NFTs would technically work in. It's just an example for the metaverse. Let's say you bought an outfit NFT, you can wear that, in the metaverse, or art or whatever you have that you can use. As we hear more about this stuff, number one, it makes me want to buy more Ethereum. By the way, I bought a little bit more Bitcoin today, FYI. Nice. But it makes me want to buy more Ethereum, and the more I hear about NFTs, man, they feel like a game changer. They really do.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think they are. I mean, we've talked about this before. I think the way that I think that when it can be integrated in real life shit, like, house deeds and that sort of thing, stuff that's permanent that you would need to have documents on that, is a pain in the ass to try to dig up. Like if you just have it as an NFT, like it doesn't go away. You can't alter it. You can't manipulate it. And I think that that's something that will be huge in real life applications.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to the next topic as we're 5 minutes from close. We'll go ahead and I want to I have an announcement to make. And somebody asked earlier about Freddie's stock. So this is all tied together. Freddie has not purchased a stock yet. We've got to get him rolling. But I think we know the first stock that Freddie's purchasing. Do we not, Freddie?
Oh, yeah, baby. Croc Nation, stand up. We're doing the Croc Nation brunch. There's a Rock Nation brunch. We're going to do Croc Nation.
Ooh, I like that.
We don't want to get sued by the Beehive and Jay-Z, but you know what I mean? This is, we're making movements here. One of my first few episodes, I gave us an approval to Crocs, and my thing that really flipped me was when the hood messed with the Crocs, because I've been put onto Crocs since 2006 by a guy that used to wear the Life is Good shirts before they came big, right? Also, where are those people at? I haven't seen them out lately. And over the years, and recently, I feel like they really just blew up. And the other day, I was on one of my urban Instagram accounts, and the post was shitting on Crocs, and I went to the comments knowing that this is the moment to see. And I went there, and everybody, Black people, whatever, Hispanics, were saying, "Nah, fuck that. I fuck with Crocs. I fuck with them hard." And then today, during our conversation, they got a whole other line of shoes. They're doing flip flops. Crocs is moving. They're making moves, and I appreciate it.
Well, the stock is also moving as well, and I'll tell you about my Crocs experience. But Brad, why don't you break down the technicals for Crocs?
Yeah, so it just broke out of all-time highs, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and leading up to the event that they had, the investors event, and it's still going crazy off of the buyback news. So, and we talked about the PE level, the price to earnings, and how much we thought that this still had room to run. So I think that it does. I think if we come back and maybe retest those previous highs, it could act as a support at 148.5. But I mean, it looks like this thing's headed to go higher from here.
What, I'm putting you on the spot, but what's the bear case for Crocs?
The bear case for Crocs is that somebody like Nike or Under Armour comes out with some sort of similar product that can compete with them, because really there's no other shoe out there quite like a clog that Crocs makes, or even some of the other shoes and flip-flops that they have, just the material and all that, the durability. I think that's something, and that's something that could bring Crocs down if another company like Under Armour or Nike came out with something to just compete with that.
Yeah, and to be clear for those of you watching, we talk about I have high conviction on Crocs. I love the company. I think we debated on whether it could have sustain growth and take material market share from companies like Nike or Under Armour or Lululemon or whatever. I think people underestimate Crocs. However, when we talk about stocks we're high conviction on, it's important to not have confirmation bias and play devil's advocate. It's almost like I liken it to what I see with stocks feels a lot like politics, where like Republicans just watch Fox and Democrats watch CNN or whatever. It feels like that, where like it actually should be the other way. Like if you're a Republican, you should probably watch what the other team is doing. You're probably going to get more value and insight and fodder there.
Yeah.
So I feel it's the same way with stocks. Like people tend to go to data that supports their argument. Well, if you already have high conviction on it, what are you looking for? Whereas what we encourage is we try to seek out the other argument. Let's try to beat this thing down. And so the bear case is really like, well, what would cause it to not go up? I do agree with you. I think similar product, and they clearly attack anybody who makes anything similar.
Yeah.
And so they understand that as well, that their patents are really important. The other thing is obviously the social attention. Right now it's hot. What's the next thing, right? Like, I remember when I was bartending, everybody was wearing Converse, Chuck Taylors. Then it's Vans. I feel like Chuck Taylor's kind of just fell off. People still wear them, but like Vans took over the helm. So like, will something take over the helm? Not even a similar product where somebody's like, okay, this is the next thing. That remains to be seen. But that, and then their ability, or I should say, as a bear case, their inability to create new revenue streams. They cannot simply just focus on clogs. Can the other products create opportunities? So that's kind of the bear case, is like you're relying on one thing. If they go out of style, you're stuck. They are. Now, the other side of that is they're actually addressing that. It's clear they understand that. So knowing that, getting into the stock, but listen, I challenge anybody to look at the fundamentals, to look at their earnings statements, to look at their P&Ls and tell me anything that is not bullish in there.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous to look at that when you're looking at margin, revenue, growth. All of it is pretty insane. So, we're going to continue to talk about Crocs. I have a shopping cart about $200 already worth of Crocs. I wanted to initially buy those cool pairs, but you know what? I think I'm just going to get the clogs. I'm going to start with the clogs.
I'm impressed. I'm actually surprised that you decided to go with the clogs right off the bat, because I thought you were going to go with the ones that look like normal shoes.
I thought that was weak. I thought that was a cop
I respect
out.
that.
If I would have just got stuff that looked like just regular sneakers. If I want to do this, I'm going to commit. Ain't that right, Freddie?
Yeah, we need to commit to this market being closed, I think.
Oh,
Hey. All right, yeah. So market is closed. We got so it was green this morning, and then ended up turning red, and it closed mixed. The Nasdaq was up about 0.13%. The Dow's down just slightly, and S&P was down slightly as well. So pretty boring day in the market overall.
yeah. Choppy for sure. We got one more day tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. By the way, we'll talk a little bit about our account, and then I promise we're going to get right into Lucid. I just wanted to make you aware, still doing the wheel strategy. I've been doing 2 contracts a week, but I'll buy one weekly, and then I'll buy one midweek for 2 weeks out. So I did just that. I'm selling puts still. So my Don Franz here, shout out to Don Franz. He's been a great support for me. My first put is going to expire worthless again. So that's good. That's what I want to happen. I'm just collecting free money off of my shares.
Yeah.
And then my next put I bought at $10. So we'll see how that goes. And it actually is working out already, because the stock I had set a limit order, which I hadn't done yet. I was just basically putting it on the bid. So now getting into that's going to help me. Hopefully, again, it's all about base hits and incremental wins.
Yeah.
Even a couple dollars premium, like that's still a couple dollars premium. And when you're talking about Clover is an $8 stock, so $2 on an $8 stock is actually, it matters.
Yeah.
So I did that. Did you make any moves?
I took calls on Lucid, which
Okay.
we'll talk on that, and then we talked about Win. So I also sold my my Ford puts.
Oh, okay.
I cashed that in because I got down to the maximum on that. So I actually got the maximum premium on that. So that was great. I felt good about that. Got free money on that one, and looking to potentially sell some more Ford puts maybe next week.
Okay, cool.
What Ford puts that? What is
Options.
that? Oh,
options. Yeah, that's a whole nother beast, bro. It's a whole nother beast. We just Brad and I just started like really, really committing to getting into options.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wow.
Yeah. Basically, it's higher risk, higher reward. And you don't have to leverage as much money, but it can get dangerous really quickly if your greed takes over. And
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's gambling, but you can start getting into looking like gambling with it. So it's
That sounds like fun. I like that. Yeah. I like the chance of losing all my money at any point. That keeps me alive.
How many people we got in the house?
We got 70 people hanging out with us, so we appreciate you allowing us to be a part of your afternoon. We got 30 likes, though, and we got to 50 likes with 75 people watching yesterday.
That's awesome.
It's been a slow week, but if we can get back to 50, I'd be happy with that. So get the thumbs up. If you guys are liking the show so far, to show support for the channel, we certainly would appreciate it.
Don said the options. Oh, Don says you can quickly turn your phone into a casino with options. I believe that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Boogaloo Brown, when are we going to do a show on wheel strategy? I don't know, but trust that it's something we have conversation about. When we feel really confident to when we feel really confident that we understand all the ins and outs of it, we will have the conversation, and we'll certainly have Don on as well to support that. I don't feel like we're far from that, but the one thing we don't want to do is bring anything to the channel prematurely. So go ahead, just trust it'll be right around the corner.
Nobody likes anything that happens prematurely.
Hey, shout out to Ivan in the chat. He's been killing it with the jokes. I've been seeing him, and they've been distracting me, and I like that. Shout out to Ivan. He had one about the Roblox thing. I just want to acknowledge that. Good job, man.
All right. So let's get to the title topic. And this is going to be, I think, a fun one. And that is Lucid Airlines had some great news, which they were officially EPA rated range in their vehicle to 520 miles, which is over 100 miles for Tesla. I think the first thing you think when you read that headline is, okay, well, how does it compare to Tesla?
Yeah.
They're kind of the benchmark. 100 miles is legit. And so this ain't no joke, but getting into sort of this EV space, and you don't have to know all these Freddie, but we have the Ford F-150 pickup, which is an EV focus for Ford. Huge push. They clearly want to be the number one EV pickup. And they will be. The Tesla series. You have the GM Hummer, and now we have the Lucid. Have you seen the Lucid, Freddie?
I have not seen the Lucid. Is this from Ford, or is this something different? Like,
no, this is the company is Lucid.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a Lucid Air. I think the Dream Edition. You'll see it on the screen. Brad will pull it up in a second.
Yep.
But doesn't matter when the world is only EVs. When there are only EVs to buy, which brand will you be buying, Freddie?
Okay, we talked about Waymo before. How does this, before I even bring Tesla into the conversation, where does this rank against that? We're gonna do a tournament.
It's a different thing. Waymo is an automated taxi service. So it leverages other EV cars, but they're not building them. They could. Apple Car also don't. It looks like there's going to be an Apple EV in the next couple of years, so that's one as well. But Waymo, as much as I want Waymo pussy to be a thing, bro, I don't think it's in this conversation.
Here's what the Lucid looks like, just to give you reference. I personally think it looks like a Toyota Camry.
It looks like a Toyota Camry, and I don't think it looks different enough than a Tesla.
Yeah.
Like the handles, it looks like they just tried to do the Tesla re-envisioned, when I feel like you got to, I don't know, they didn't do enough for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Are you seeing it, Freddie?
Yeah, that looks like some basic ass shit. Shout out to Housekeeping and also Righteous Troll. I want to give acknowledgement to people going hard in the chat. They're being funny. Yeah, that car looked very bland, but I think you need like a less sexy, more reasonable option, because maybe is Tesla like does Tesla have a bad like image with some people because of Elon Musk? Maybe this is a car for people that want to be communists or something like that, you know?
Listen, you're always going to have people that are going to go against whatever the popular pick is, just out of spite, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how, and there is arguments against, like, Tesla isn't as good as it claims, or as people claim.
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe, but
I do too. And I don't know anything, but I agree.
But I do think there's going to be certain people who are just going to like not buy a Tesla just because they don't want to be sheep.
Now, the one thing that I will say is, and we can take a look at the chart right now, because after hours, it's still moving up. I had a pretty decent day. It's up 6.5% because of that EPA certification. That the Lucid does have pretty impressive numbers if they come out in production. 1,100 horsepower for that Camry, which is pretty nuts. And then that 500 and some change in range. Those are definitely compelling things that I think would move people to at least give it a try. And,
well, what's the horsepower for Tesla?
Well, the horsepower for the S Plaid, which I guess would be the competitor to that, I don't remember what the actual numbers are for that, but I
Okay.
know 0-60 times like 1.9 seconds.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, I imagine Lucid somewhere around there.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that car. Like that car I wouldn't have any issue with people buying it.
Yeah.
Again, my issue has always been if you're trying to do things that are just, it's like when competitors to Apple would try to be like, it's comparing it to the iPad. This is X compared to the iPad. This is battery life. This is the iPad. Any example comparative to the iPad, it's like, man, if they're doing promotion like focusing on the iPad, buy the iPad.
Yeah.
Buy the iPad. There's a going off topic real quick, but a good buddy of mine who built a successful car detailing business, started in his dorm. He started the business, did a mobile detailing and grew it to a multi-million-dollar business, ended up selling it, did really well for himself. He got his break when Under Armour was looking for car detailing companies, and all the people that they were like interviewing kept saying Diamond Detail, like we're just as good as Diamond Detail. We're like whatever, we do this better than Diamond Detail. And Under Armour reached out to Diamond Detail and was like, everybody's talking about you, so we're going to go with you because clearly your competitors are trying to mimic you.
Yeah.
And I feel like Tesla is the same thing.
I agree.
And Apple's the same thing. Like you just see the same thing across the board. But I will say, Lucid, outside of design, to your point, they are going. They're doing the right things. I mean, range is the big thing. Like if I were to buy an EV, it's like I need range, and 500 miles, we're getting there.
Yeah, 530 miles would get us from here in Maryland to the end of South Carolina.
Now,
wow.
Yeah. So as far as the other thing is, and this, I don't know how much Lucid has control of this, is we got to get the charging stations, the rapid charging stations. We got to get more of them, and they got to get faster. Do you think you're a car person? Do you think that this gives Lucid the competitive advantage, this range, or can Tesla just snap their fingers and be like, "Oh, we'll get to 500, we'll get to 600 or 700"?
I mean, given the fact that they just put people in the space that are just straight up regular civilians. I don't know. I know SpaceX is not Tesla and they're completely separate, but whatever. The technology changes hands all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that they could snap their fingers and be like, "Oh, well, now we got 600 miles of range. We didn't want to put it out this quick, but we just did it anyway."
Yeah.
Or and so yes, I think that they're very capable of doing that. But this definitely made the headlines. Lucid's going to sell cars regardless, and I think that this will probably likely go higher from here. I think it's them and Fisker that could be the companies that are solely surrounded on EVs that could compete or at least stay in contention with Tesla. I still think Ford is number 2 comparatively, but they're not just exclusively the EVs, but it's Fisker and Lucid, I think, that are exclusively the EVs that could stay in contention with Tesla.
Yeah, and we've talked about Neo, Xpeng, Nikola.
Yes.
We haven't talked about him enough for me to remember how to pronounce the damn company. This one actually has legs.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think that bear case, you got to be concerned a little bit about as the production ramps up. Are there any issues that come up?
Right.
I'm very interested in the cost structure of it, because that's where Tesla wins. They do have the smartest people, and they're addressing costs, and they clearly are trying to make margins greater and greater. So from a profitability perspective, they are far ahead of anybody else. So that is going to be the question for Lucid, is like, yeah, that's great. You can get to 500 range and your car is awesome, whatever. But like, is it affordable? And are you actually going to be able to make money on this thing as it scales? That remains to be seen. However, if you are looking for a speculative EV, Lucid is very reasonable to consider if you just don't want to pay the price tag of Tesla, which is sitting at $750 a share. Let me get a $20 stock. Let me speculate a little bit. I'm okay with that. I personally just love Tesla. I believe in Tesla. When I look in the future, it's all Tesla in my mind. So I'm just happy to see like a legitimate EV come into play, not like, Nikola.
Here's the other thing. The Lucid Air, the 1100 horsepower one, it's $115,000.
Yeah. Yep.
So Tesla still has the advantage when it comes to pricing as well. So that's one other thing that's definitely a bear case for Lucid.
Yeah, you're not gonna. I mean, and Tesla's about to, what was it, a $30,000 car, $25,000 car, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna sell a ton of those. How many $115,000 cars are you really gonna sell?
Right.
So that's gonna be the game changer. This is great for them, and let's not forget, Tesla Roadster is what they kind of led with, and that got the attention. So Lucid could be doing something similar. Let's get the attention with this sexy car. Although, if you compare the Lucid to Lucid Air Dream or whatever it is to the Tesla S, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But if you I don't know if you've seen this, Freddie, but if you take the Roadster,
oh my God,
it ain't even in the same stratosphere.
Right.
Like, the Tesla Roadster is sexy.
Yes.
That looks like just a regular
Camry.
Tesla.
Looks like a Camry.
It does.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Question: will the Lucid be able to use the Tesla chargers to charge their car?
Other companies will be. I don't know how it's going to work out, but Tesla actually did mention recently that they were going to allow charging stations to be beyond Tesla. So I don't know if there's going to be partnerships with companies or just anybody can do it. But possibly, and there certainly will be other companies that they'll allow leverage their charging network.
I like that, because and correct me if I'm wrong here, but he doesn't want to like something about the patents. He wants to like the technology to be accessible, right?
That's the cool thing about him. He's getting all the information out. Yep.
Yeah.
So for him, he just wants to reach the goal, which is like EVs, minimizing carbon footprint, all this stuff that like gets us to the point where we're just having more EVs. That's ballsy for him to do, but it's actually kind of endearing because he's like, take it. We're still going to do it better than you.
Yeah.
I'll give you the code, the blueprint. Here it is. We're still going to do it better.
Yeah.
He's in it for the love of the game. When you do that, you know that if your competition gets better, now you have something to get better than this. Yeah. He's a real G. He's an RN, and I ain't talking about a regular registered nurse.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Rob T said, I like how the back seats of the Lucid recline. I haven't seen that feature.
Yeah, so it's designed like the price point and the target is for higher end people.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it is a basic family sedan that they're charging $115,000 for. It is legit luxury vehicle, lots of bells and whistles. Anything that you can imagine that you would want for 115K, it's in it.
So what the question you have to answer if you're interested in this is, well, you got to really anticipate what you think the vision of the company is and the direction they're going to go, because they could say, hey, we're going to be niche. We're going to kick ass of this luxury EV segment, but we're not going to, try to dominate and have all these car lines or whatever. Or we're going to go after the Teslas and try to have different lines and try to make it economical, because there are companies that are just fine staying high end. Yep. And that's all they do. That's fine as a company, but a publicly traded company, shareholders, that may become a concern. So remains to be seen. I would imagine they're probably going to try to grow in a similar fashion that Tesla has, but I can't reiterate it enough, Brad. Tesla is just so far ahead of everybody else. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think the direction that Lucid's going in, just based off of some of the research that I've done, it's been more along the lines of that they're going to compete with the Mercedes, the BMW, that line of things. So yes, Tesla's still going to be a competitor, but Lucid has no interest in actually creating a Corolla type of vehicle, whereas Tesla is.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll keep an eye on Lucid for sure. We have Stock Watch Sunday this Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's sort of our flagship content where we talk about the 5 stocks that Brad's watching on the week for the watch list. It's going to be really interesting to have conversations on Sunday to see how this week closes out. I think online sports betting is certainly something we're going to talk about more, depending on how tomorrow plays out.
Yeah.
That's sort of a storyline in general that we've kept a close eye on. But obviously, the Teslas of the world, the Crocs of the world, retail obviously had some good bullish news today. So a lot of things to talk about. So guys, Make sure you tune in on Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. But most importantly, before you leave, hit that thumbs up, guys. We certainly appreciate it. Freddie, thanks for hanging out and blessing us, gracing us with your presence. We certainly appreciate it yet again. Why don't you let everybody know where they can find you?
Find me on Instagram at Freddie Valois. Same thing on TikTok.
Freddie, you do this every week. Any
is that what you wanted?
No, I ask you the same question every week.
Thank you, housekeeping, for appreciating that. And shout out to Savvy Money Show mentioned something, told me to buy time. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Can you make enough money to just alter time? What's going on there? Explain that to me. What's that mean?
I have no idea.
We'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, I'll follow up later. Sorry. Bye. I'll keep it. Bye.
It's the words of wisdom to the Chaos Crew. I've asked you this literally every single week.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I didn't know it was wisdom. Don't use that word. That's too much pressure. I'll reference it to one of the options. Okay, I feel you. I like that. Somebody asked if I got red pilled. It's not red pill. It's just, the world is run by elite billionaires and the CIA, guys. So just have fun. Get the Crocs. Undo a button. Get every type of Croc. It'll look good for the end of the world. All right. It's a good apocalypse shoe.
I agree with that.
Same.
Love it. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, guys.
Yeah, you guys. Thank you.
We'll see you Sunday.
Now you know. Yeah, bye. Bye.